From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network, from Alabama's International University, this is Troy Trojan Vision Midday.
Hello, and welcome to Troy Trojan Vision Midday for September 21st, 2017. I'm Summer Leach. Thank you for joining us. Last night, Troy University Student Government Association held their annual meeting to discuss a possible name change for a Troy resident hall. Seth Hawk has the details.
Troy University Student Government Association has put a bill on docket for a suggestion to the Troy Board of Trustees to change the name of a Troy University dormitory in order to prepare for the future.
We've now built new residence hall, but we haven't given it a name yet. And hopefully, in the near future, we will be building new dorms on campus. And those will also be new dorms as well. So, we're going to have to name the building something so that our people will be able to tell the difference and know where to go.
The building that the SJ wants to change the name of is the building behind me. New Residence Hall is its current name, but hopefully because of the bill put on docket last night, that building will soon have a new name.
We have moved tonight to recommend to the Board of Trustees and the administration at Troy University that New Residence Hall be named after Lamar P. Higgins. He is a member of the Board of Trustees and he is a strong advocate for the students here at Troy University. So we feel that it is appropriate to name the building after him or recommend that it be named after him.
Ray also says that other names were considered for recommendations to the Board of Trustees, but ultimately Higgins was the choice for the SGA. The SGA will address the name change again in their next meeting next Tuesday at 6:30 in Hawkins Hall. Seth Hawk, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Once again, the bill to change the new resident hall name to Lamar P. Higgins Hall will be addressed in the next SGA meeting. To keep up to date with the SGA, you can follow them on Twitter at TroySGA. Troy University is known as Alabama's International University, and today the school will be participating in a day's worth of activities celebrating International Peace Day. Troy's International Arts Center is hosting a variety of activities that started this morning with free yoga at the Peace Dove statue outside the IAC. Then there will be a meditation session that will coincide with a worldwide moment of silence that will end at 12:15. The day will wrap up with a peace gather at the International Arts Center starting at 7:30 p.m. Curator of the IAC, Carrie Jackson, says she hopes this event brings attention to Troy's international community.
We want them to know that we are so glad that they're here, and that's something really special about Troy and about Troy University in general, is that we have that, and many people take it for granted. So, it's a moment that we can all come together and open our eyes.
In addition, students can stop by the Bib Graves Quad until 2 p.m. to decorate peace flags that will be displayed at the International Arts Center. Troy University students who are veterans of the armed services have an opportunity to find out about government services available to them today. Troy for Troops will have their Vet Success Table set up on the Bib Graves Quad outside the Math and Science Complex today from 11 to 1. Veterans of the dependents of veterans can visit the table to talk with representatives about benefits or other government programs that might assist them during their time at Troy.
The Vet Success Officer, Mr. Ricky Jones, helps veterans and their dependents if they are entitled to medical benefits, survivor benefits, if they're entitled to education benefits, voc rehab. So he is able to assist them, and then what he's unable to assist with them, he is able to put them in connection with the organizations that are able to assist them.
Once again, the Vet Success Table will be set up in front of the Math and Science Complex today until 1. Once a month, Office of Civic Engagement gives a student a chance to engage with each other on topics relevant to current events. The Talk of Troy allows students to spend their lunch hour in discussion on the topics while enjoying free pizza. Antonio Reese has the story.
The Talk of Troy has hosted an event discussing the threat of global nuclear war and posed an open forum for students to discuss just how prepared and educated society would be if war was inevitable. The forum also served as a social for students to enjoy some free pizza and unite on a serious topic. For those unsure of what the forum was about, organizer Avery Livingston explains.
So the Talk of Troy is a chance for students to come and actually have a conversation with each other about current events, important issues in the world and the United States.
The main topic of the forum was the nuclear tension America faces when dealing with North Korea, and if affirmative or peaceful action is needed. Livingston discusses the importance of this subject.
Today we talked about North Korea and nuclear proliferation. So this is a very current topic that a lot of students are concerned about. I think it was a good way to get people talking about their different opinions and different military or diplomatic solutions.
Talk of Troy is put on by the Office of Civic Engagement, which offers a variety of opportunities for students to become more involved in the community.
So the Office of Civic Engagement has many different things that we do to get involved with the students and the community. So one of the things we do is a Campus Kitchens project, which is our main initiative. Basically what we do is we take food from the dining hall, repackage it, repurpose it for kids that basically might go hungry over the weekend. So we deliver that food to places like Head Start, Christian Love Center, and the Boys and Girls Club. Other things we do are a backpack for kids. We do a Southern film series where we bring in independent films and screen those, and then we do things like this, like Talk of Troy.
For those interested in working on further projects or attending events for civic engagement, the organization offers weekly activities and monthly activities that can be found on their volunteer hub online. Antonio Reese, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
The next Talk of Troy will be at noon on Wednesday, October 18th in the Trojan Center, room 212. And now for a look at what's happening across the country and around the world, we go to Kaylin Pleasure at the Global News Desk.
The Delta is rising following Tuesday's violent 7.1 magnitude earthquake in south central Mexico. Rescuers are conducting desperate searches looking for survivors in the deadliest earthquake to hit the country since 1985. Chris Martinez has the latest from Mexico City.
Rescuers are frantically digging into the ruins of collapsed buildings, hoping to find survivors of Tuesday's violent earthquake. They made contact with a young girl trapped inside this demolished elementary school in Mexico City this morning, but the process to remove her is slow and dangerous because the rubble is not stable. Searchers halted their efforts and raised their hands several times, urging for quiet, hoping to hear voices from inside the wreckage. Earlier, they pulled out several young children, but at least 21 students and 4 teachers died. Officials say the earthquake reduced at least 44 office buildings, homes, and schools to piles of concrete in Mexico's capital. There's also massive damage in rural areas. In Jojutla, near the quake's epicenter, entire blocks were destroyed. This man said his wife and grandson barely escaped when this church came toppling down, but others weren't as fortunate. Families started holding wakes for the dead this morning. Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto toured the damage Tuesday night and asked people to remain calm. He said the biggest priority now is to find the missing and help the injured as rescuers race the clock. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Mexico City.
Puerto Rico is taking a beating from Maria, the strongest storm to hit the U.S. territory in nearly 90 years. The destructive Category 4 hurricane is taking its time, tearing across the island. David Bed now reports from San Juan.
Hurricane Maria's winds made quick work of Puerto Rico's trees and roofs. Torrential rain has flooded streets. Maria made landfall early Wednesday on Puerto Rico's southeast coast as a powerful Category 4. Then spent the day clobbering the rest of the island. With the storm still raging, few people ventured out. Debris flew past cameras, and signs were easy targets for 140-mile-per-hour winds. Part of the island may see up to 25 inches of rain, raising the threat of mudslides.
We can save lives.
Puerto Rico's governor, who went door to door yesterday urging people to get to safety, says more than 7,000 people have gone into shelters.
I've passed through hurricanes, but this one, it's going to be very hard.
Evacuees in this hotel had to move downstairs into the lobby, then into an emergency stairwell. The power is out across the island, and there's no timetable for getting the lights back on. Maria may have been the final blow to the power company's already crumbling infrastructure. We're getting our first look at the island of Dominica, one of Maria's first stops in the Caribbean. The storm turned deadly there and has knocked out communications to the entire island. People are cleaning up on the island of Guadeloupe, where Maria also claimed lives and damaged homes. David Begno, CBS News, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Republicans are making a last-ditch effort to repeal and replace Obamacare before an upcoming deadline makes it harder to push through. Moda Lingui is on Capitol Hill with details of the latest proposal.
Republicans are cautiously optimistic that they may finally be able to pass a bill to repeal and replace Obamacare.
I've never felt better about where we're at.
Republican Senators Lindsey Graham and Bill Cassidy co-wrote the plan. It would eliminate the subsidies that make health insurance cheaper for people under the Affordable Care Act, and it would give states a lump sum of money to create their own health care systems. But the Graham-Cassidy bill still has provisions which some Republicans object to. Conservatives don't like that it would keep some of Obamacare's taxes.
We keep the taxes in place, but we give it to different people with more flexibility.
While some moderates are opposed to the idea that people with pre-existing conditions could end up paying more for health care, and it would end federal funding for Obamacare's subsidies and expansion of Medicare.
It would result in Maine receiving $1 billion less in federal funding for health care over the next decade.
Right now, Republicans need only 50 votes to pass the plan instead of the normal 60-vote threshold in the Senate. But that legislative tool that allows that lower vote is about to expire.
If we were going to go forward, we would have to act before September 30th.
Vice President Mike Pence says the Trump administration is all in to pass the bill. He stepped out of a meeting at the UN to talk with Mitch McConnell about health care. And President Trump tweeted this morning, "I hope Republican senators will vote for Graham-Cassidy and fulfill their promise to repeal and replace Obamacare." Mola Lenghi, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And that's your news from across the country and the world. Now back to you, Summer.
Coming up on Trojan Vision Midday, a star from a famous television show will be visiting Troy University. We'll learn more in today's Trojan Talk. Plus, we've been experiencing some nice weather lately. What can we expect for the remainder of the week? Justin Walker will let us know coming up in weather.
Get strawberries? Okay.
From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network, now your weather on Troy Trojan Vision Midday.
Thanks for staying tuned for your Trojan Vision weather update. I'm Justin Walker. Sunny skies and humid conditions have been interrupted by scattered showers this week, and as we make our way closer to the weekend, there will be a small chance of rain, but I'll get more into that right after taking a look at our current conditions. So currently, our skies are fair. Our temperature is sitting at 86 degrees. Our relative humidity is at 61%. Pressure is 30.07 inches, and we have variable winds at 5 miles per hour. As we take a look at our daily almanac for the day, we've seen a high of 86 degrees and a low of 69 degrees with no rainfall. And as we take a look at temperatures from around the state, we see up in Huntsville, they're sitting at 72 degrees. We see Birmingham is at 86. Our capital city of Montgomery is at 89 degrees. Here in Troy, as I just said, we are at 86 degrees. Phoenix City, Auburn area is at 88 degrees. Down in Dothan, they are seeing 87 degrees. And down in Mobile, they are the lowest at 84, or one of the lowest. And as we take a look at our temperatures for the whole entire South, we see that we see those same exact temperatures all across the South, from the high 70s all the way to the low 80s, and even some 60s over in the Carolinas. As we take a look at the country as a whole, we're a little bit warmer than the rest of the country. We're seeing 50s, 60s in the Great Plains and the Midwest, while we are warmer down here in the 70s. And now as we take a look at our forecast for the next few days, we will see tomorrow, Friday, there's only around a 30% chance of rain, so we'll see some scattered showers, but that's not guaranteeing that we will see any here in our area, so we should be good. And then as we take a look at Saturday, just in time for our home game against Akron, there's around a 20% chance of rain. It is very unlikely that we will see any rain for our game, but just be on the lookout just in case. And then as we take a look at Sunday, only a 20% chance of rain. We'll see some rain in the lower part of Alabama, but that shouldn't affect us at all. And then Monday as well, around a 20% chance of rain, as this rain will continue to creep into our area. We shouldn't see any rain at all for our Monday either. As we take a look at tonight, we'll see partly cloudy skies with a low of 68 degrees with calm winds. And then tomorrow we'll see scattered showers and thunderstorms. As I said earlier, only a 30% chance of rain, so it is unlikely that we will see any rain. A high of 88 degrees and winds coming from the east at 5 miles per hour. Now let's take a look at our 4-day forecast. As I just said, Friday we'll see a 30% chance of rain with a high of 88 degrees and a low of 67 degrees. Saturday, in time for our game, only a 20% chance of rain with a high of 86 degrees and a low of 67. Sunday, a 20% chance of rain with a high of 86 degrees and a low of 66. And then Monday, a 20% chance of rain with a high of 87 degrees and a low of 66. So summer, we will have some chances of rain, which is very unlikely that we'll see any. So we should be good.
Yes, it looks like we have good weather for this weekend. We're excited about that. Thank you, Justin. Coming up on Trojan Vision News, a men's fashion accessory that will take you from fab to flab. And the Trojan football team is preparing to face a coach with a famous last name. Find out more with Taylor Bodyford coming up in sports.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Trojan Vision Midday.
Hello and welcome back to Trojan Vision Sports. I'm Taylor Bodyford. The Trojan football team's record now sits at 2-1 after the team beat New Mexico State Saturday. This Saturday, the team returns home to Veterans Memorial Stadium to take on the Zips of Akron, and their coach had a familiar last name. Longtime FSU coach Bobby Bowden's son, Terry, will be calling the plays for the Zips, and head coach Neil Brown knows that he will have his team prepared.
One of the most famous names in all of college coaching, all coaching period. Terry's had a ton of success. If you look at him at Auburn, Sanford before that, you know what he did at UNA, what he's done at Akron, you know, and they went to a bowl game 2 years ago. Really were on track and had several injuries at quarterback a year ago, or they would have been bowl eligible 2 years in a row.
Fans are encouraged to be inside the Vet no later than 4:40 p.m. to witness pregame festivities that will include an American flag covering the entire playing surface of Larry Blakeney Field, while 2 F-16 fighter jets from the 187th Fighter Wing of the Alabama Air National Guard will perform a flyover of the stadium. This past weekend, the women's golf team kicked off a new season. However, the season wasn't the only thing new. The team played their first tournament under new head coach Randy Keck. Keck had only been on the job a few days before he had to take his team on the road for their first competition of the season. The Trojans ended up finishing 5th out of 13 teams competing, and the new coach, who was only hired 2 weeks ago, said he was excited to learn about his players.
I got to know them right away. You know, you learn a lot about your student athletes when you travel with them. Learn a lot about their personalities, a lot about their learning styles, a lot about what they like and what they don't like. And so, yeah, in a weird way, it was great, and also found out we've got a lot of work to do.
The Trojans will return to action October 1st at the Magnolia Invitational, co-hosted by Ole Miss and Mississippi State in West Point, Mississippi. The Trojan soccer team is now 3-6 after beating ULM Warhawks on Friday and losing to the Red Wolves of Arkansas State on Sunday. The loss to ASU evened their conference record to 1-1. However, the Trojans will look to get their second conference win this Friday when they travel to Conway, South Carolina to take on the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Last year, the Trojans dropped the match 2-0. This year's game is set to begin at 5 p.m. The team will then travel to Boone, North Carolina to take on the Mountaineers of Appalachian State Sunday at noon. Now, we are very excited this Saturday. We have a lot going on at Veterans Memorial Stadium, and we encourage everyone to be there.
Yes, we do. We are so excited to see everyone, and it's going to be a great game. Yes. One of the stars of the show, Switched at Birth, will be at Troy University next week. Aaron Taylor learns more about the event in today's edition of Trojan Talk.
Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Today we'll be discussing why a Hollywood actor is making his way to Troy University, and my guest today is the Director of the Interpreter Training Program, Judy Robertson. Judy, thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you.
And the reason why this actor is coming to Troy has to do with your program directly, the Interpreter Training Program. So tell us why we've got someone, a Hollywood actor, coming to Troy.
Well, Sean Birdie, each year he does an ASL Champions Tour where he visits different schools and programs and recognizes them for their work towards ASL, deafness, interpreting, things of that nature. And this year he decided Troy was on his list, and we're actually going to be the first stop on his tour. So his agent contacted me a few weeks ago, and we got the ball rolling, and here we go.
And Sean is an actor on the Freeform, used to be ABC Family for those out there who watch that sort of stuff, show Switched at Birth.
Correct.
And he is a hearing impaired actor, a deaf actor, who portrays a deaf person on the show, obviously, but that's something you don't normally see in any kind of programming out there.
Right.
So it's kind of a unique thing, especially to the deaf community, to see something like that.
Very much so. Typically you see a hearing person portraying a deaf person. So the fact that a deaf person actually had the opportunity to portray a deaf person gives validity to the role, gives the language the opportunity to be accurate and fluid. So it's really a neat opportunity. It makes him a wonderful role model for other deaf individuals and children, adults alike, to show them that these things can be done. They can be very successful.
And seeing that portrayed, obviously someone who deals with the deaf and deals with sign language, and seeing that portrayed in a correct way, it's got to be something that you think to yourself, we need more of this out there.
I agree. I think it's a wonderful opportunity. Again, for years we've seen deaf people be oppressed and not have the opportunity to showcase their talents and their voice, if you will, unless it was through the use of an interpreter. And something like this, it gives them that opportunity to be themselves.
And of course, this is going to be at Troy University, but it's not necessarily just a Troy University event. Obviously, anyone out there who's either a fan of the show or particularly, anyone out there who's deaf or hearing impaired and would like to see someone who has succeeded in the business, this is something for them.
Correct. We don't want this to be just a Troy thing or just even an ITP thing. We want anybody and everybody who is interested in acting or interested in just meeting somebody cool and famous. Anybody out there, they're welcome to come. We'd love to have them participate and see a little bit into what we do.
And of course, it opens up there too, anybody that's interested in just seeing an actor, somebody who's, regardless of his deafness, it's just seeing an actor, somebody who's been on a show for I think somewhere like 5 years now. I think it's been on the air. So an opportunity to see someone like that, folks like to see famous people anyway.
Everybody likes to have a picture with a famous person, right? So here's your opportunity, because he will do a meet and greet after his performance. And from what I've heard, he will stay until he meets the very last person. Right. So he's open and willing to meet and take a picture with anybody who comes through the door. So. And
now, and there are tickets to purchase for this. This is a ticketed event. So tell us a little bit about that real quick.
There are tickets. It's $25 to purchase a ticket. We've posted flyers and posted information out on the internet, and there's a link. It's Sean Birdie Entertainment. And you go there, select the Troy location, and buy your ticket. You do have to have a ticket for the event,
Okay.
And no tickets will be sold at the door. So
Okay.
you do need to buy those prior to
the event.
prior to the event.
And of course, and for those of you who are thinking, hey, this is, there's ticket price a little steep. There is a benefit to the university out of this as well. So.
Definitely. One cool thing about it is 20% of their proceeds will come back to the ASL ITP Club here at Troy University to support some of the events that they do throughout the year.
So an opportunity to see this actor come to campus and benefit the programs here at Troy as well.
Yes.
Now we haven't touched on this yet. When and where?
It'll be next Thursday, September 28th at 6:30 p.m. at Claudia Crosby Theater here on Troy's campus.
Claudia Crosby Theater. And make sure that if you guys are interested, they got to get tickets prior to the event. And where can they get those tickets again? So.
The Sean Birdie Entertainment. I believe it's SeanBirdieEntertainment.com. And if you'll just select the Troy location, it'll take you to the website where you'll buy the tickets.
All right. Well, here's looking forward to seeing a little bit of Hollywood come to Troy for an evening, and an opportunity for people to see an actor who has succeeded in the business and promoted interpreter training, American Sign Language out there.
We're excited about it.
And I know you are. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.
Life expectancy rates are rising overall in the United States, but drug poisonings, specifically those related to opiates, are now having a negative effect. Kim Hutchison has today's Health Minute.
Recent research suggests that the opioid crisis is having an impact on life expectancy in the U.S. Life expectancy is the average time a person is expected to live, based on when they were born and other demographic factors. Researchers examined data from the National Vital Statistics System mortality file, which tracks death certificates registered in each state and the District of Columbia. They found that between 2000 and 2015, life expectancy increased overall. Death rates related to conditions like heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and kidney disease all dropped. But drug poisoning deaths, mostly related to opioids, increased dramatically. Researchers found that deaths from drug poisoning generally more than doubled, and deaths from drug poisoning involving opioids more than tripled. The study's authors say that the number of opioid-involved poisoning deaths is likely underestimated, noting that up to a quarter of death certificates do not list the specific drug involved. The study was published in JAMA, the Journal of the American Medical Association. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
A London artist is seeking production partners on a bizarre new men's fashion accessory, which for some may be hard to stomach. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Are you tired of your sleek physique? Washboard abs got you feeling drab? Well, there soon may be a way for you to get the dad bod you've always wanted, and without all the hassle of a poor diet and sedentary lifestyle. Behold, the Dad Bag. It's a fanny pack that resembles a pudgy, hairy belly. The wonderfully weird concept comes from a London-based artist who says he's always wanted a dad bod, but was concerned about the health issues. He's currently seeking production partners to make the Dad Bag a reality. But wait, there's more. The Dad Bag will come in a multitude of skin tones and belly hairstyles, giving you the dad bod you've always wanted. That is, if you can stomach it. Check out this security video from a galaxy not that far away. It's of a man in a Star Wars mask robbing a California donut shop. It happened in Belmont, south of San Francisco. You can see the man wearing a stormtrooper mask pointing a semi-automatic handgun at the clerk. The clerk was not hurt, and the masked robber left with an undisclosed amount of cash. Police are looking for the suspect. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Well, we are just about out of time, but before we go, we will get another look at our weather. Justin, what's it looking like for the next few days?
Pretty calm. And as we go to tomorrow, there's around a 30% chance of rain with scattered thunderstorms, a high of 88 degrees, and winds out of the east at 5 miles per hour. So it wouldn't hurt to just to be prepared just in case we do see some rain. It's very unlikely that we will. And as we go into Saturday as well, only around a 20% chance of rain. We shouldn't see any rain in time for our game. So just go out and support your Trojans. This has been your weather update. Now back to the news desk.
And that's your forecast. That's all the time we have for Troy Trojan Vision Midday. For all of us here, thanks for having us and have a thrilling Thursday.
Oh my gosh.